even the people who used to suffer a lot when I'm depressed, for example, my husband, because every day I'm complaining about A, about B, about C. There's not a single evening that I didn't have something to complain about. But since discovering my purpose, you know, things changed because a bigger picture sets in and you're able to see things in a different perspective. Your mindset shifts, it changes. And for me, this has been such a beautiful moment, even in my workplace.
Hi, my name is Stella Kigutanganga and welcome to the Kingdom Connect show, where we connect kingdom marketplace leaders to you and where we speak about faith, about purpose, about business, and about making a difference in our communities. Join us on all our social media platforms, click and subscribe, and join us for interesting, exciting, insightful, and impactful episodes. So, do you remember 3 questions that maybe, you know, viewers who are watching who don't know their purpose can learn from, you know, questions that you were asked in the class that they can learn from, that they can also begin to interrogate and just ask themselves those questions? I certainly recommend that they take the class because, of course, you do much deeper work in it. But what are just some of those maybe 3 questions that really were light bulb moments for you?
The first one was, what can you do without being paid?
Wow.
Yes. It was so powerful because it gives you that moment to go back inside and start digging the wells to find out, is it A, is it B? What are you most comfortable with? That any minute you're okay with it. What is that thing that you feel you are doing it and you will not even realize that time is flying or time is up and you're continuing to do it even when there's no more time left. So those are some of the questions that made me really feel or rather start to see where I belong, because I could identify, I could write that down, because I also like the fact that she encourages people to put down their story, because the moment you put it down, you start to connect with it. Even the things that you hate, they start to have a new perspective. You start to see them differently. Like for me, there are so many things that some of them I didn't even want to mention about them. But by writing them down, connecting with them, I start to see the other side of the coin. So those are some of the questions that we went through, and they are very powerful questions that helps you to know everything is right within us. We don't have to go out there and look for it. We just need to know, how do we get there? How do we identify these things and run away with them?
So what is your purpose?
My purpose is empowering especially young people to flourish and thrive by discovering the power within them. And the reason I connect with it, throughout my childhood, I had a funny journey. And I remember at some point I disconnected with my parents because I was born in the Rift Valley, and then we all know some of the skirmishes that used to happen. So at some point I was taken to live with my grandmother, and for several years actually, my grandmother, my father's brother, and all that. And sometimes life can be tough. Life can actually be really tough. And during those moments, I went through difficulties. Actually, that is the season when I was not with my parents. When I got to know the definition of the word hunger. It was so devastating. And you know, as a young child, when hunger sets in, really you can fall for anything. And I found myself struggling a lot. And for that particular, you know, when you're hungry, you're so vulnerable to anything.
That is true.
And if someone tells you something, you don't even have time to question, because all you need is food. And through my life journey, I realized majority of the people, especially people who have gone through difficulties of lack,
Yes.
any description, you're okay with it, as long as it helps you to sort out the now
immediate
need.
problem, yes.
Yeah, the immediate problem. So I found that I lost my power, I lost my identity. Actually, I always tell people my life so far is defined in 3 chapters.
Right.
The first chapter is hunger. The second chapter was identity crisis. And now the third chapter, where I am right now, it started with depression, discovery, and now purpose, you know, and I like it a lot. I like that particular chapter a lot.
That sounds like a bestseller.
Wow, that's good. So when in terms of the story, the life that I've been through,
Right.
I realized there are so many people who are trapped, not because the power is not within them, but because they have gone through so many challenges until they don't feel like they belong anywhere.
True.
They don't feel like they are anything in this life.
Right.
Actually, for the longest time, I always felt other people are better than me. I always felt that I don't have a stake wherever it is. And therefore, anything I did or engaged in, I always had the other people in mind and never
Never you.
myself.
Right.
And I really thank God for his word in Ephesians 2:10, that we are God's masterpieces, created in Christ Jesus to go and do the good things that were prepared long before
Yeah.
that we were created. So the moment you realize that purpose, it is, nobody will ever give you purpose. It is God-given. It comes from the Father, the Maker. And there is nobody who understands us and knows our purpose better than the manufacturer, who is our God.
Very true.
So I think through the journey I have gone in this life, I always felt there are many people who are trapped. They don't believe that they are anything. They don't even believe they have something to offer to the world. Yet God already put that in. And I like what Lydia's book talk about identity, you know. When you are in that identity, many of us live as labels, not the true identity that Christ gave to us.
Great.
So my journey and my work, particularly with the youth, is to just help them know you are not that person. You are who God says you are.
True.
And the power is right within you. You don't have to look out there for you to know what to do. You just need to go back to yourself, either through coaching, or there are many different ways, but I think I loved the coaching bit, and especially when you're coached by a coach who has the kingdom mindset,
Yeah.
the principles of the kingdom.
Right.
Because you discover yourself so much,
Yes.
the self-awareness. I don't think before I would have sat here to take such
Have
an
a
interview.
yes.
But now the self-awareness
Yes.
gives you that courage to know I have something that I need to tell the world,
Yes.
and you have to share that meal, because that is the reason you were created.
You know, I love the trajectory this conversation is taking, because, you know, I think the purpose conversation, you know, I didn't hear it when I was younger. I had it when I was much, you know, older in life. And I guess for our parents or that generation, if they're hearing it now as we hear it, then they're much older. So is it too old to discover your purpose?
Yeah, I just want to give a word of advice to parents, particularly on the question of purpose, because we have seen people, you know, struggling a lot, and particularly for the young people who are going to colleges.
Right.
A child enrolls to one course, maybe a degree of 1 degree, and then somewhere down the line they feel, no, that's not me, and they change. And that means they have lost time, they have lost money. But if we enroll these children to classes where they are able to discover who really they are, and then once they get to know their purpose in life, they're able to align or with which course can take me to where I want to be. So that you're not this person who is supposed to be teaching others about something, and then you end up going to an engineering class,
Correct.
which does not connect with the real you. Because the beauty with human beings is that how we are wired, even if we veer off the road,
Yes.
something will keep knocking at the door, telling you, tumepotea, and we need to get back to, on track. So, and there's this course that Coach Irene, through PDI, normally provides, and it's called The Secret Brilliance.
Right.
And she offers it to children from the age of 8 all the way to those who are going to campus.
Right.
And I've seen those people who have gone through the courses, they are able to know, this is my line, and that is how I'm going to even tailor the courses that I'm going to take in campus or in college. So purpose is very, very important, so that we are not imposing things on our children only for them to get to a certain point and they no longer connect, because that is not who they are.
And this is what this show is about. You're gonna love it because the narrative at some point must change. Thank you very much. We hope that you have enjoyed this session, and we do look forward to keep connecting with you as we bring more professionals so that we can keep having these candid conversations. Thank you.